In this video, I'm going to show you how to make Stutter House. This video took a long time to make, so if you could just smash that like button, it would be much appreciated. Now this is a track by myself and K Junto. It's called All I Need, and it's out on all platforms. There's a link below if you want to listen to the full thing, and feel free to add it to your playlists as well. Let's start by going through the drums. So I've just grabbed the first bar here, and just ignore it starting on 41.4. That's just because of the way the tune starts. So first of all, we need a kick, and we need a kick to hit every 4 beats. Now normally I use the audio instead of the MIDI of the samples, but it worked well in this scenario. I can't remember exactly why, but I just went with it and it worked fine. So literally just put a kick every single bar like this, and you should get something that sounds like this. And then I have used audio here for the clap. We're just going to put a clap, a really light clap, and you can see I've faded it out here, and we're going to put this every other beat. So on the second beat and the 4th beat, and then it should get something that sounds like this. And the idea here is you want the drums to be almost light and delicate, but you'll be able to refine them more when you add in the other elements, like the stutter vocal, the pads, the bass, and the sidechain, etc. So once they're in, we need hi-hats. So what I've gone and done is put a hi-hat in between each beat. So here, 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 and here. And I've actually layered it. So I've got this one layer here, and then the second layer here, and then together they sound like this. And with the drums, they sound like this. You can tell, very simple. And then the other element we've got is a cymbal, and that's coming in at the start of every 4 bars. Just like that, and it's got a bit of delay on it, nothing too fancy. And then another thing we have later on is this percussion element, and this just comes in various sections like this. So in the second section and third section, and it sounds like this. That's simple, just a little perk sound. So after 16 bars of the first drop, we then introduce some shakers. So this shaker here, just a shaker loop, and then all that together gets you something that sounds like this. And that's the drums in the drop complete. Let's have a look at the build-up drums. So we've got the hi-hats playing, and the percussion, and then we have some build-up elements here, and we have also a reverse crash. So you can literally just get this, drag it in, and then tap R, and it reverses it like this. And then we have all these percussion elements filtering in. And these are filtering in simply with these EQs. So if I just grow this, show automation, you can see it's gradually filtering in the high end. And these are just playing very frequently every 16th. And they're just 2 layered snares. And you can see they've been shortened down as well to fit in that 16th. And then they cut out 1 bar before the drop, as you can see, for the pre-drop to come in here. And the pre-drop is just a vocal, which I'll show you a bit later on. Next, let's look at the instruments and the bass. So the way we've made this track is we found a combination of samples and then created our own melodies and chords as well. And we picked the scale C minor for this. And this is because originally we found this piano sample here, which was in B minor. And what we did was move it up a semitone. So now it's in C minor. And we kind of based everything around this sample here. So to find samples like this, you can buy sample packs, or you can look on Splice and type in like piano house chords, something like that. Or if you've got any good piano plugins, then you can try creating them yourself. Now I do recommend using the plugin called Scalar 2 for creating those really cool chords. I use it a lot and it's really helpful. Otherwise, hopefully you can find some pretty good samples to use. And then in terms of post-processing, you want some strong saturation, and then you might want to layer it as well with other pianos, and then EQ them out and layer them on top of each other to make it sound as wide and big as possible, because this is going to be your driving sample, the piano. So then on top of that, we've got some atmospheric noise, and this will be in C minor as well, which just sounds like this. And then later on, we've created these chords. So I'll show you these chords. And this chord progression just complements the chord progression here, and it sounds like this. And this is just a Serum preset from Splice. It's just a basic pad with the low end cut out and a little bit of compression as well. And then we've also got another pad here, which is in C minor as well, that just sounds like this. And all of these sounds layered together sounds like this. So you can hear how the atmosphere in the background makes it sound really full, and this pad layer on top of the piano just adds to that depth as well. So on top of that, we also have the piano playing in the drop. And this complements the bass nicely, which is a Serum bass, which sounds like this. Very simple, as you can see here, if you want to copy. And LFO2 is just on the cutoff here, on 44, and it's on 20 Hertz there. Both these are on, and it's just the basic saw wave on Serum, the one that when you initialize the patch, it creates for you. And then we've got a compressor and a bit of EQ cutting out the highs. That simple. And you can see this melody here. We've just basically put the scale in C minor here, forced it into scale, and then start the note on C, and then we can press play with the instruments and the drums playing like this. And then just start to think about how this can work. So we just start on the C and then go down an octave, and then we go to E. And you'll notice that the chords change every bar, and so do the notes. So this is sort of following the chord progression as well. And we also have this pad on the drop as well. And then later down the track, the C minor chords come back in to help it then transition into the breakdown and then back up into the build up and the drop again. So you might be thinking right now, it sounds good. So on top of this, we also have some effects. So we just have some basic down filters, some vinyl cracks, some basic transition sweeps, some risers, and then that just continues throughout. It's nothing fancy at all. Just look at how quiet everything is. Make sure all your effects are super quiet and in the background, and nothing is overpowering the tune. Biggest mistakes I see in beginner to intermediate producers. They love to put their effects super loud, and it's just not necessary. So you may be thinking, this sounds good, but it's missing something. And that is where the stutter comes in to make this track Stutter House. So it needs a vocal sample, and then we need to make this vocal sample stutter, and then we need some more things to stutter, such as pads. So you'll see these 5 different elements here. These are all variations of the stutter that we've created and then experimented with. And we've experimented with a lot of sounds here to get the final result. So let's have a look at the vocals first. So this is a really simple vocal. We came up with this ourselves. So we were like, what would sound good for a Stutter House vocal? And we thought, you're all I need as just one vocal line, and then we can just repeat it. And then if we can get like a long harmonic part of the need bit as well, we can then turn that into a stutter. So initially we looked on Splice for sounds, but we weren't having much luck. So then we turned to websites like Fiverr. We found a singer from Fiverr, and we paid, I think it was about $30, so $15 each. And then she sang this one line for us and gave us like 20 different versions of it, so we could pick the best ones and layer it. And she also did a revision for us just to get one part of it sounding even better. And she absolutely smashed it. And then we ended up with this sample. And then the need bit is then put in the stutter effects. So this first bus is just the vocal itself without any stutter on. So we've just got it at the start of each section, and it's like the bar before the tune starts, which is why the track starts one bar off, because we didn't want the start of the track to just be completely empty, as you can see here. So we get that at the start, and then it comes in every 8 bars, as you can see here. And then throughout the drop, it comes in every 8 bars as well, and then a bit more frequently towards the end. And a lower voice, we've just pitched it down 12 semitones just to keep it interesting. And then here we've got rid of the you know you're and just got the all I need. So let's add in the stutters. So on top of that, we've also got this in the build up here, and this is just the vocals chopped up even more, and I'll play it to you. And this has got the flutter effect on. So to make this, you use something called Serum FX, which is a different plugin to Serum. It's just the effects of Serum. So you can download this off the Serum website. I'm not sure, it might be free, but if not, it definitely comes with Serum. Now, Kjunto set this up, so I'm not exactly sure how it works, but feel free to just copy these settings. So we've got this macro on audio in here, on full, on the sustain of here, and then LFO1, we've got this shape. On 16th, LFO2, we've got this shape. On the sustain here, on a quarter. And on the matrix, it looks like this. And that gets you that shaky sound, that wobbly sound in the voice. Without this, it sounds like this. And then we've also chopped it on the drop to get this. Which is on the same settings as this. So then finally, what are these sections at the bottom here? So we've got some backing vocals to support the vocals that sound like this. So the best way to find these is on Splice. So then on top of the vocal layer, we've also got another layer, and this is a bunch of lead basses as well as another vocal layer. And initially it's playing quite fast for the first half of the drop, plays 1/16th, and then for the second half of the drop it plays 1/8. And it sounds something like this for the first bit. And then for the second bit, it sounds like this. So you can see it's a bit slower, but also automated back to that 16th. I'm not sure why we've done it on 2 separate layers, but I think it just got a bit messy towards the end. And we're just trying to get it all done and dusted. So organization went a little bit out of the window. And then this lead progression is playing a C, E flat, A flat, F, and then just being repeated. And then it's pretty easy to find these kind of lead basses. They're just Serum patches as well. And that is the track complete. Remember, this track is called All I Need, and it's on Spotify. It's by myself and Kjunto. Link down below if you want to listen. Let's listen to what the final product sounds like. If you want to be able to make music like this, I've got a free music production workshop down below, and all my samples are also down below as well. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.